Lovely Linda K at lovelylindak.com. Linda,
Oh,
how you doing? How you like that little plug right there for
I oh, you're talking about the website, right?
you?
I
Yeah,
love
the
it. I loved it.
lovelylindak.com
Yes,
or lovelylindak.com.
yes. Things are going great. Getting moving along on that website. Just going to be posting things from our weekly podcasts, just to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that everybody knows that it's been out and ready to go for your wonderful ears to listen, as well as
Consumption.
new
Yep.
merch. Yes. Also, Meathead, just FYI, I don't see you on the screen anymore.
Oh
But I'll keep
boy.
going about the website.
Meathead, where did you go? Where is Meathead?
But yeah, lovelylindak.com. I just launched that last week. Thank you everyone for your support, and just all these years, and any ongoing support, much appreciated, as well as your support for us here at PWR Weekly. But while Meathead's gathering himself here to get back on your wonderful screens there, I will talk about some sponsors. How about that, Meathead?
Yeah, hit it up. Can you see
All
me now
right.
while I'm talking? So you
Okay.
probably didn't realize that you're going to see my face take over when I talk, your face take over when you talk. I mean, we want to see you,
Oh.
right? So why don't you tell us about the sponsors?
Thank you very much for that. Normally there's the three of us, so we'll get in that in a minute. But
Just the three of us.
yes. So wonderful friends at Collar and Elbow. Make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Check out the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions. And if you want to save a little extra cash, you can always use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY to save 10% off your order. And also want to thank our friends over at
Oh
prowrestlinginsurance.com.
yeah.
There
Hey,
it
put them
is.
up right on upon the glass.
Yep, there you go. Make sure to visit Chris. Chris will be your main point of contact to let you know an affordable way to save money should you get hurt. Basically, if you get hurt with this supplemental policy, you get paid. Your bills will be covered because you get paid if you get hurt. Plans
We
as
don't
low
want
as
you to get hurt.
right, but just to make sure your booty is covered. Plans as low as $8 a month for individuals. There's also event promoter coverage available, very affordable, as well as life insurance plans as well. Make sure to visit Chris, prowrestlinginsurance.com.
All righty. Well, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the Royal Rumble happened yesterday. We're recording this on a Sunday. It's not Monday morning as per the usual, but it is Sunday. So the Royal Rumble was last night, and at 4+ hours, Linda, I mean, honestly, I counted 4:12, roughly about 4 hours, 12 minutes. Were you watching live?
I was actually, so that was exciting.
Oh,
It was great. This is the pay per view I look forward to the most every year. It's so exciting. Glad I was able to catch it live.
I'm a Mountain Dew fan myself, and I was doing a little pitch black while trying to watch the entire show, but I think I'm going to have to cut off. It was way too pitch black in the house for me. Way too pitch black. Yeah, I mean, I'm drinking this Mountain Dew that's like grape soda. We're watching Joel Schumacher's Batman from the early 90s and all the neon and the different colors over and over. So it just got a little weird. But let's talk about wrestling news first before we get into the Royal Rumble. Um, let's talk AEW real quick before we go anywhere else. AEW and Warner Brothers / Discovery, they do a complete reversal of their stance on where they stood with Jay Briscoe, the tribute. Not only did they let the tribute video air, they also had the main event of Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe to close out Dynamite last night. Linda, your thoughts on the basically I want to take the high road on this, okay? And just say, well, at least they came to their right minds and they did the thing. Do you think that they were led into pressure? I mean, by the way they handled the situation to begin with, a man having passed and, dishonoring him even after he passed? Or do you think that maybe they thought, you know what, this is the right thing to do? We made a mistake. Your thoughts?
I I'm gonna say maybe some added pressure just because there's lots of stakeholders involved, and
Yeah.
yes, as a network, it is ultimately their decision, as is my assumption. But um, I'm sure they probably got a lot of pressure, heard a lot of some heat, some push about that. Just considering the entire situation, the entire spectrum as a whole. So was very happy to have seen. When I saw that post, I know I sent it directly to you and Matthew as soon as I saw
Yeah.
that match would be taking place at Dynamite, as well as just a tribute to Jay Briscoe as well. So I'm glad that took place. I know there was some stuff going on there that before it actually happened, but very, very happy that it did, and a great, just something just for the people that knew him too, even just the stars of the show that were there that night came out for that tribute, and of course Jay Lethal, and of course Mark Briscoe as well.
What an amazing match. Jay Lethal, you could see visibly shaken on his way down the ring. And, I love the I Love Jay, our bands that have been on TV for the last couple of weeks. The Reach for the Sky t-shirt with Jay Briscoe on it, 1984, 2023. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Those shirts available at, I believe they're at ringofhonor.com or honorclub.com. I'll get you the address in a second here, but those shirts, 100% of the proceeds, obviously going to Jay Briscoe's family. I love the video package, and I love the really the dancing with his daughters.
Yeah.
Getting ready for his cheer lesson, because that's the kind of thing that I can dig, without a doubt. Also, the video available for free on Honor Club as well. The extended version, the package that they made for him. I really do believe, though, that this was pressure. It was pressure that a man passed. He didn't die doing something wrong. He didn't die something sketchy. He literally was driving his kids, and another car veered off and head on, and unfortunately, tragedy befell him. And to continue to stomp on the man's name after he had passed, I thought it was tacky and tasteless. But I mean, that's what corporate world is. So let's move on from that, right? We got to see the match. We got to see the tribute. We're good from there. We also got an amazing Dynamite from last week, Wednesday, as well. Again, all really in honor of Jay Briscoe. We saw Guevara and Jericho take on Ricky Starks and Action Andrade. Boy, I don't know what happened there with the lips. Darby Allin took on Buddy Matthews for the TNT. I got a bone to pick with Linda. Am I being too critical here? If it's a TNT Championship Open Challenge, how come the match was announced beforehand? It wasn't open. It was a predetermined opponent. Buddy Matthews was already the opponent.
Yeah. Well, in this situation, Buddy Matthews took the challenge early on.
Okay. Well, then take the title open off of there. All right. Well, he's accepted it. We've now got a championship match. Jungle Hook, with their second tag team venture, taking on Ethan Page and Matt Hardy. We also had Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. Toni Storm, 100% bad girl now. Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal were in the main. We also had, don't forget about this, Brian Cage the Machine took on Bryan Danielson, and the Acclaimed and the Guns at Family Therapy, because Billy had 2 words for them. Really, what we're going to get, I assume at Revolution, is a tag team match for the titles, the Ass Boys and the Acclaimed. Your thoughts on Dynamite overall?
Obviously, the tribute show, that was great to see. But yeah, a lot of action taking place. Little action Andretti as well. Sorry, that was nice. It's supposed to be a transition there. But yeah, just moving further along, and things that we can see potentially taking place all the way to Revolution, as you just mentioned as well, regarding the tag team championship scenario. Which, by the way, shout out to our good friend OVW and from GLCW, Tiffany Nieves. She got to be the therapist in that family therapist session.
She sure did.
Tremendous.
And there was more OVW going on at those tapings as well, which we'll get to in just a little bit.
Yep, it took place in Lexington, Rep Arena, so close to our friends there at OVW. But yeah, overall, just the best thing, obviously the tribute, but a lot of movement, a lot of action. Definitely an exciting episode of Dynamite.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about Rampage as well. And it threw me off a little bit because we saw, talent. Now, Linda, we watch so much wrestling and I get crossed up. Did we see Tony Mudd on Rampage, or do we see him on SmackDown? I thought he was on SmackDown, actually.
Tony, I saw it on AEW. Rampage.
It was Rampage.
Mudd, but
Tony Mudd. Tony Mudd. Come on. We know who Shotgun Tony Gunn is.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Great to see. Yeah, I know a lot of our friends on there were there on site. And yeah, any work that's given to any of our friends, we love that. We love seeing that. Yeah, Tony Gunn Mudd was facing
Tony Mudd.
Will Hobbs. But yeah, so yeah, but again, representation, that's great. We love seeing our familiar faces on our television screen. So yeah, kudos to all our friends there that were able to make it to AEW and get some time. Which, on a random side note as well, it was announced this week that AEW Dynamite is returning to the Milwaukee area.
Milwaukee. That's right.
I know we're excited about that. I know, we know Matthew Thomas, which, by the way, where is Matthew? But Matthew Thomas was recently at the Ball Arena. Was that the one in Denver? Where
Yeah, he had a ball. Unfortunately, got snowed in.
Yes. So we're going to get our chance. It's going to be springtime, though. I do believe it's going to be Wednesday, April 12th. And I remember that because visually I remember it's shortly after Mania. So I know that.
What you don't see me doing is scrolling through the pictures to see what the date is. Stand by.
Yeah, so it's springtime, but living in Wisconsin, we know there could be a chance for snow. Maybe we'll get snowed in Meathead when we go to Dynamite. But that was some exciting news coming to anybody within the
greater Milwaukee area.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Wednesday, April 12th. It's a taping of Dynamite and Rampage in Milwaukee at Panther Arena again. So they do a great job at Panther Arena. We've been there for both tapings, both shows, and the building was pretty full, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Where did we sit the last time? The last time I think we were all in a clump because Cal wrestled at that taping.
The first
time.
The other time, we were I think by each other both times anyway. But no, we had some nice seat filler seats. Which
we had seat filler seats. Yeah, exactly. So no, we're excited for AEW to come on back again. Let's talk about Darby Allin. Darby Allin, boy, again the lips just not working. Darby Allin wrestling again. After Buddy Matthews, the video, Samoa Joe, the king of TV, wants his belt back. And honestly, this is the nastiest, gnarliest I've ever seen Samoa Joe. I'm excited for the third match here.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the last one. Excited to see more continue with the two of them, and just see more of the Ring of Honor, like belts and titles highlighted. The ones that yes, all the titles matter, but there are some that I feel more light, if you will, on television, and the television title that being a big one, considering Samoa Joe having it and continuing this awesome feud with him and Darby Allin.
And a video from Adam Cole, who's getting ready to return back to the ring. I think this is a heavyweight championship return. Honestly, I think this video, we're going to go back and talk about it in 6 months or so. We're going to say, you know what, here's when he came back, as long as he stays healthy. I think that he's got a match with MJF, and I think he's possibly the one to beat MJF. Possibly, exactly. Let's talk a little bit more AEW. Coming up this Wednesday on Dynamite, Bryan Danielson is wrestling one of our favorites from the NXT world. He was a tag team partner with our boy, Tommaso Ciampa. It's Toothless Timmy is coming to AEW. Timothy Thatcher will be wrestling Bryan Danielson this week on Dynamite. Did I tell you that when we were walking back that Saturday night, it was Matthew Thomas again, who I have no idea where the hell he is. But when we were walking back with Matthew and Sister, I swear to you, I look over and I'm like, that looks like Ciampa right there on the motorcycle. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's out working, but I swear to you, I saw Ciampa just driving around in Milwaukee. But Jon Moxley will be wrestling another WWE NXT star in March. It looks like he's going to be taking on Trent Seven, which is going to be going on as well. So Moxley's still out there wrestling the independents and AEW. Do you think this is a smart move for Moxley to continue to wrestle a full-time schedule with AEW and still these independent shots?
I don't know necessarily if he has to, but he must want to, or he's just very dedicated and wants to honor any commitments that were made prior to very full-time schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say, prior to, I understand if he just signed with the company, 6 months ago and he had a, 9-month out match, but wow. I mean,
it could be something too where, that's his buddy. He wants to have a match take place where it can take place.
Trent Seven, one of the Mustache Mountain. So big match coming up there. Let's segue now into the Royal Rumble. We got a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. It was 4 hours, 12 minutes. Excuse me. First off, we'll kind of lead into what happened with Rey Mysterio. Apparently Rey injured Friday night on SmackDown against Karrion Kross. I thought there would be more interaction between Kross and Mysterio. Now we understand why. And again, Dominic coming out with Rey's mask. Also, a debut, a return to the company, actually, Chelsea Green, formerly of WWE NXT. I don't think she ever was main roster before. I think she was down.
She was. I think she was on SmackDown for a little bit. She got hurt again.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, her husband is said to be coming along as well. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. The Matt Cardona, who goes by Zack Ryder in WWE, said to be making a return as well. Linda, your thoughts on Chelsea and Matt?
That's awesome. Power couple right there. Great to see Chelsea make her return in the Royal Rumble. And yeah, she's awesome. She just recently did a show with us with GLCW. So Great to see her back in that huge, huge spotlight. And of course, if Zack returns, that would be huge for both of them as well.
Is Hugh Jackman going to be coming along as well? Because, when they had the guest host thing and Hugh Jackman had the woo, woo, woo headband on, do you think he's returning as well?
I don't think so, but we did see glimpses of that from that Raw 30 episode this week as well.
Yeah, we did. That's the only reason I remembered it. Because that is an era of Raw television that I'm trying to forget, quite honestly. Let's do it. Let's talk Royal Rumble. Linda Kay, we've got a lot to talk about in this entire pay-per-view, 4 hours, 12 minutes. We had PWR fantasy points on the line. We had, a little side action going too. The man they call Meathead runs a little bit of a Rumble pool here. I'm not saying that it's for money or anything, but I'm just saying we had side action.
Just for fun.
Yeah, we had the men's and the women's loaded up as well, 30 competitors. Well, 29 competitors and myself, because the man they call Meathead's got to play too. So we had a lot of action. We had a lot of moving parts over the weekend. Linda, let's talk about the draft in this way before we get to the final. Last week on this very program, we each made a move, right? We each removed a competitor and added a competitor. And then throughout the week, other moves were made. I'm going to go right to the phone here because that's how I remember everything. First off, Matthew Thomas had dropped Karrion Kross, and who did he pick up? Let's see.
I know.
All right. Go ahead. I was going to say I had to pass the meth library note here. Go ahead.
The Rock. Just to prepare for meeting, I'm assuming is the move. So on air last week, we had Matthew drop Karrion Kross for The Rock, but that one was done after the fact. The one that was done on the air was him dropping, I don't remember.
Well, he did pick up, that I do remember, that
he dropped AJ
pick
Styles.
up. Yeah, he did pick up Rhea Ripley. We'll get to that in a second. But Linda, you made a move as well, I believe.
Yes, I dropped Wardlow and picked up the not brand new, but newly acquired SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair.
Woo! Who did not make a pay-per-view appearance. Now, I had dropped Nikki Cross. There was some consternation when I dropped Nikki Cross, but that's been settled. I dropped Nikki Cross for somebody that you know and somebody that comes out to Alter Bridge. Edge was picked up and did show up at the Rumble as well with a very angry wife who I thought would be in the Women's Royal Rumble as well. But she was dressed for competition, did not wrestle in the Rumble. That kind of caught me off guard a little bit. All right. I had made two more moves, Linda, at the end of the pay-per-view, or at the end of the pre-show, and I'm getting to them because, again, I can't remember them all. Jade Cargill dropped for Dominic Mysterio. How about that action right there? And then I had one more. I made a AEW drop, Linda. I know it didn't affect the Royal Rumble, but I dropped Cesaro, and I picked up Bryan Danielson. How about that?
Yeah.
Remember, the roster's locked at the end of the Royal Rumble, so I wanted that done. So he has a title match coming up at AEW Revolution. So
that he does.
Let's talk about the Rumble. It starts off with the men's. So the placement of matches in the pay-per-view. We obviously overthink. That's what we do. But when the men's match was announced first, did you already have the entire card booked? Okay, it'll go to men's, probably go to Pitch Black, probably go to the women's match. Wait, they got a titles match. Then women's match. No, it'll go to women's match, then title match. Then it'll go to, I'm booking this whole thing right when I heard it.
It made sense. You start off strong, and you could have ended with a men's Rumble, sure, but the big story of the night was Sami Zayn and what would happen with him in the bloodline. So I think it was done in the proper
Bloodline was main eventing this pay-per-view. There was no doubt about it. But to open up the men's match, let's talk about the winner and let's kind of go through the match. All right. I think it was a foregone conclusion that Mr. Cody Rhodes was going to be winning this match. He came in at 30. He was the man in this match, and he wasn't actually exposed either. There was a lot of different little stories that went on in this match. First off, let's start off with what happened before the match. You know, the college football season is over. Lee Corso doesn't need him around anymore. So returning was the man for the brand, Pat McAfee. Your thoughts on returning Pat McAfee?
That was an awesome surprise. I really enjoyed having that 3-man team out there with Corey.
You don't find there to be a little conflict between Corey Graves and Pat McAfee? Because aren't they the same role? Just two of them?
You said you do or you don't?
I do, but
in essence, the same role, yes. But they had opposite opinions on a lot of things. I made, hearing McAfee back at commentary made me remember some things where he was cheering for both heels and faces. And just some wit, some humor, and some jokes.
He damn near fell before the show started. They had to hold the chair.
That energy, yeah. No, I think it was fine having, because him and Corey bickered a little bit, but in a good way. I think it flowed with the matches, and they gave their opinions on certain people. I think Corey Graves is strictly going to be that heel favored commentator, where you have McAfee who's a bit of both. And I think it worked. I enjoyed it.
Graves kept yelling at McAfee when Baron Corbin came out. Don't you say it! Don't you say it! I was waiting for him to go, bomb ass Corbin.
Yes. Yeah, things like that. I
struggle a little bit with Graves and McAfee at the same time with Cole. Okay, I struggle a little bit. Now there was one little piece in the commentary that just blew me away, which made me laugh, and it's one of those insider lines. Graves is saying something, or McAfee is saying something to Cole. How can you not see what the guy's saying? He goes, look, I've been taught for 20 years to watch my monitor. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that was something else. All right, let's talk about it. It opens up with Sheamus and Gunther, and you know what? These boys were going at it. Not long after Sheamus scored the first elimination by bro kicking the Miz, into oblivion, really. His banger bro, Drew McIntyre, came in, and they lasted a long time too. The banger bros should last as long as they can until they're done, and then we move on from there. Now McIntyre got his payback on Karrion Kross, eliminating him. Kofi Kingston, I think, was supposed to do more spots. I think he fell, and I think he hit the floor, and I think he was done from that point. Leno, your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I just want to praise Gunther. I mean, I don't want to jump to the very end there, but coming in at number 1, I'm a huge fan of him. I love, there's a lot of talk about the prestige, the additional prestige, getting, given back. I don't think it was ever fully lost, but the Intercontinental Championship, I mean, what a champion. I mean, just
what's the line? What is the line? The man makes the title, or title makes a man? I think the man is making the title again.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he was also on Team Long Time, by the way. But
trust me, I was looking for his name too, going Linda Kay.
But no, I thought it started off strong. Of course, giving the people what they want. You put Gunther and Sheamus to begin. The whole thing was awesome, and having Drew McIntyre in there with his banger bro that was great to see as well.
All right, so we had others like Santos Escobar, Angelo Dawkins, all those guys were in there. But the big name that came in, remember these matches, the 30-man battle royal, or Royal Rumble, but they're built in segments, right? They have these chunks. So you remember them sometimes in thirds, sometimes you remember them for spots, for moments, whatever, and we'll get to the biggest moment of the match by far. But you remember them sections. You're going to remember number 12. Brock Lesnar, and he rumbled his way to the ring. He eliminated Santos Escobar, Angelo Dawkins, Chad Gable. Shoosh! Every time Chad Gable kept doing this suplex, shoosh! And then Kofi hitting him with the shush. You know what I liked? They gave some credence to Apollo Creed. See how I did the Creed there? With the amateur wrestling background, because him and Chad Gable went and did a little bit of wrestling on the mat there. But Bobby Lashley comes in right after number 13, attacking Lesnar, spearing Sheamus before eliminating Brock Lesnar, and brings it to I mean, that crowd was on its feet. Bobby Lashley has already been the world champion. He's already been the man, just the beast, right? He looked the strongest last night.
Yeah. Huge pop, Brock coming out. Sometimes I forget that because he was added kind of toward the end, or at least made publicly that he would be in the Rumble. So I kind of like for a minute forgot oh, Brock's, and I honestly I figured he might have been toward the end, not as early, but then it made sense having Bobby come out next and eliminating him, and then of course Brock destroying all things around. Yeah,
he destroyed bum ass Corbin too before he could even get into the ring.
Yeah. So again, giving people what they want. We're finally getting that Bobby Brock match. I mean, we got it before, but not to this extent that it looks like we will be getting.
Yeah, and it's honestly it's at a top level right now. I mean, I thought Bobby and Goldberg was a solid match that we had over seas, but this may be the match we've been waiting for a long time that we didn't get for the I think it was the Universal Championship, or it might have been the WWE Championship, which we didn't get. It was just kind of a dud, but this was the one.
Yep.
All right, so Seth frickin' Rollins comes in, immediately makes an impact by bringing Corbin into the ring to get him out of the ring and eliminating him, and also eliminates Bobby Lashley as well. Now, at 17, Rey Mysterio was supposed to come out, as we talked about earlier, but never made it out. So Dominic shows up at 18, holding his father's mask. Talk about the next level. Dominic looked like a star, and that is why I have Dominic Mysterio on the team they call Meatheads.
Yeah, I thought Dominic looked the strongest ever, and he didn't have, Mommy did come out a little bit later, but he came out on his own, and that was the first time I really was like, oh, there's just another side to Dominic that we saw. Maybe
he looked like a man, actually. Yeah. To be completely honest, Dominic's looked like a kid for the long. He looked like a man.
He looked great. He's definitely in the right hands to get him and then to that next level.
At 20, Finn Balor showed up. They threw out Johnny Gargano. Booker T is surprise entrant. Like I told you off air, I mentally said, you know what? I bet you Booker T jumps in this. Yeah, he's going to come up from commentary or something. And look at that, Booker T at number 21.
We got that spinneroonie we wanted.
He was in his 9th Rumble as he got eliminated by Gunther. Now, Damian Priest at 22. The Judgment Day is in full force. They had all 3 members in there. They eliminate Montez Ford. At 24, a recent pickup by the team they call Meatheads had Edge showing up, returning, haircut and all, disposing of Balor and Priest, but the Judgment Day gets the last laugh when they helped Dominic eliminate Edge. Do you think it's Dominic and Edge at WrestleMania? Or is it Rhea and Dominic?
You have Beth Phoenix there.
Let's get to that right now. The Polish wife, Beth Phoenix, came out, and my kids were watching with me the whole time, right? I have 2 little girls, and they love the Rumble. The Rumble by far is their favorite match now, and now they want to get into it. So, Linda Kay, I think we got a couple new fans last night. But I kept yelling, look at how angry she is. Don't you touch my husband. We're going to Applebee's after. I mean, we did get the Applebee's commercial later on with Becky and Seth, talking about whatever they were talking about at the table there. But boy, Beth Phoenix was not happy that somebody was attacking her husband. She was dressed for competition. And they kept saying, girls, later on, don't worry. Rhea's there. That's Rhea. I like Rhea. But Beth is going to come back and get Rhea in the match. Spoiler alert, Beth didn't show up for the match. But I think we got something bigger coming later down the road. Out of nowhere, just, again, Beth Phoenix showing up, obliterating the Nightmare with a massive spear. Now here comes Omos. Braun Strowman looking good. Braun Strowman got in there, eliminating Omos. So big night for Braun Strowman. At number 29 was not Sheamus, Logan Paul. You know what? If he was there to get the moment that he got about 5 minutes later, cool, right? I mean, people are talking about it. But we haven't seen Cody yet. We've already been through 29. So here's number 30. And you had speculated earlier, and we had heard rumblings that Sami Zayn was going to be in the Royal Rumble. He would not be, because at 29, we hadn't seen Cody. We know Cody was in match at number 30. All right. So we get Logan Paul, Ricochet. They're standing on the ropes on opposite ends of the ring. They both jump in the air and they do the double clothesline mid-air, 15 feet off the ground. Holy balls.
I know, just hearing that impact. Wow. That was amazing. And I know Logan Paul coming out. Okay, that was a surprise. Cool. And he didn't do bad, like we say, like he does do.
You know what? Our
when he
buddy,
is in the
our
ring.
friend Adam Braun, after he hit him, he goes, "You don't belong in this ring."
Yeah, I caught that.
And then beat the hell out of him.
Mhm. Yeah, but if part of the acquisition of having Logan Paul on the roster is to get these big viral moments, to get more eyes onto WWE as a whole, just like him jumping off the top rope with the camera in his hand onto Roman Reigns on the commentating table overseas. Things like this, it works. It makes sense, and he does do a nice job performing. So, I do
and
like
he did eliminate Seth frickin' Rollins.
That's showing something there as well. But I was gonna say that I do like having him come in, just being, the cocky, showing the cockiness. So I stopped at a weird point right there. Showing the cockiness because the crowd.
Thank God he didn't show it.
The crowd does want to hate him, so I think it's perfect. That's instead of bring him come in and kind of be borderline face, keep him as a strong heel because the people want to boo him, and he can perform as we saw. So I think this would be great I'm pretty sure, I feel confident that Logan Paul is going to get a match at WrestleMania again, and it would, given what we saw with that elimination against Seth Rollins, that would make sense.
Okay, we get down to the last few. Logan Paul is in there, but really it gets down to the final two. Number 1 and number 30. Mm-hmm. Gunther and Cody Rhodes. Gunther, thank you for setting a new Royal Rumble record. I think it was an hour 12 that he was in that match. 72 minutes he lasted in there, and he looked like he lasted 72 minutes. Mm-hmm. The winner with a Young Bucks shout out, by the way. Did you see a couple of hand gestures that he did for the Young Bucks there?
Yeah.
The winner heading to WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I know he wasn't in there nearly as long as Gunther, being number 30 in the Rumble. I thought getting a lot more time between Gunther and Cody was great. Sometimes at number 30, we've had number 30 winners in the past come in, quick elimination, and boom, they're winning. I liked that we got a lot of close. Do you call it a finish if you're close over the top?
Yeah, I guess I would call it a finish. Yeah. I mean, an elimination is a finish, I guess.
Yeah. So we got some of that, and just, again, Gunther didn't.
1 hour 11. I apologize. 1 hour 11 minutes 40 seconds for Gunther.
Right. Yeah. Although Gunther didn't win, he definitely won in regards of just showing everybody a bit more about what he can do. And
let's talk about Sheamus too. 52 minutes for Sheamus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it was a really great Rumble. A lot of stars there, and I was expecting more surprises, old school, or maybe a funny quick elimination spot.
There was none.
Booker T was there, yes, and he was limited kind of quick, but not like Bushwhacker or Santino.
Hey, we don't use Manscaped anymore. We're not whacking any bushes around here. All right. All right, so kind of a surprise down the road here. So, as I'm looking at the times in the entrance, the big lasters, you had Drew McIntyre in there, 39 minutes. You had Johnny Gargano lasted 29 minutes. Dominic Mysterio, 25 minutes, 44 seconds. At the end, really, Austin Theory was the only one that lasted a little bit, which was 15 minutes. Braun Strowman in there for 11. Ricochet had 9 minutes. Logan Paul had 10 minutes. And then Cody was in there for 15. But 37 minutes also for Seth frickin' Rollins as well. Okay, so that was the men's. We've gotten to the men's, and now we're going to break down the next match. I was looking forward to it. I wondered what it would be. I didn't know what to expect. And what we got, like I said, was 90s era Batman. Everything was in, day glow. But that doesn't mean I didn't like it, because I did. Yeah. I actually did like it. You know what? My poor girls, they said, what about underwear guy? Oh, LA Knights, you're not underwear guy. I I wondered about Bray Wyatt when he was coming out, because he was coming out. I'm like, oh, he's not really dressed up. He's just got on eye black. And then they hit the lights. Oh, and the fireflies were everywhere, all over the thing. I loved the spot on the table with the exploding, the glow in the dark confetti. That was fantastic. When LA Knight hit Bray Wyatt with the kendo stick, did you see the colored mark that it left as well? Your thoughts on this match? Do we ever do it again? Do we, I mean, do we think it was too gimmicky for a really serious pay-per-view? I liked it.
I mean, right after a Rumble, there's something.
You needed something lighter. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was officially sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Which I had 2 of them during the match. Well, not during that match. I had 1 during the Royal Rumble, so.
It was very gimmicky, but that's okay. I mean, WWE is very innovative with introducing something new. Now, while this was called a pitch black match, I think a lot of us thought this would be a lights out style match, anything goes, which it pretty much was, or as far as anything goes, but calling it pitch black, not just because we're calling it something different, but we are going to make this a little different, or a lot different in that regard. Having Mountain Dew as a sponsor, we're going to do this black light.
They sponsored the press conference as well. So,
which, by the way, bringing up McAfee, I don't know if you heard this line, but I popped at this one. He said, "Wow, with all these black lights around, I'm happy. I'm wearing clean pants." And then they started talking about Spencer's, and they're like, "Oh, it just teetered off to another conversation during this very important."
That'll have to go back for, because that sounds phenomenal.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, anyways, no, I enjoyed it. I like the additional touches, just like that confetti, and they're like, "What is this?" Because I was.
How about the additional touch on Bray Wyatt's head on the side? The Roman numeral 5 and the Roman numeral 1. The number 6. Okay.
Yeah, little things like that. Oh, but I was thinking as the match went along, I'm like, okay, they're still moving somewhere. Something big is going to happen. And we did see Uncle Howdy.
Well, and not just Uncle Howdy. Let's go through it. The reason I bring up the number 6, Bray Wyatt coming down the ring, coming down to the ring, down the walkway. You saw his friends, right? Along the side. The Wyatt 6. You know about the Wyatt 6. They're here. They're coming. So after Uncle Howdy does this amazing dive on top of LA Knight, and Bray Wyatt is down there. Did you see the 4 of them up there?
Yeah.
Uncle Howdy, Bray, and the 4, the Wyatt 6, are here, and they're here to stay.
Yeah, good stuff from that. Unique match. Will we have it again, to answer your question? Probably not. I don't think you need to do this again. It was special in its moment and getting us to the next part of this story, and we got it, and I think we're good at where it's at as far as that.
I want to jump ahead real quick to the press conference with Bray Wyatt, who was very, very just Bray, very Wyndham, right? Rotunda. He was asked about the involvement with Alexa Bliss, and Alexa, he said that, you know what, Alexa and I will be tied together forever. I don't know that Alexa Bliss will be part of the Wyatt 6, because they already have 6, right? So we'll have to see how that works out, but Bray Wyatt, acknowledging what's been going on with Alexa Bliss. Let's continue to go in through the pay-per-view, and let's talk about Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair with the big win and retaining the Raw Women's Championship, but Uncle Howdy showing up at the end on the screen asking, "Do you feel like you're in control?" Your thoughts, Linda Kay?
I liked, number one, the montage of all of the spookiness.
Because can we get a montage?
So that was cool. Some memories of some things, like just the things that you remember, just like that shot of her sitting with, like, it was almost like a pentagram. I'm like, I forgot that moment.
Yeah.
And just other cool moments where that was really, really awesome. When she got in deep with Bray during that whole evil period. Even before the introduction of
the
Lily,
black coming out of the mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that too. The fireball. She
she burned Randy Orton's eye. Yeah.
Right. Just stuff like that. So obviously she's affiliated with them. We see that. But she can do her own thing there. She can be her own strong presence in this other style of Alexa, and her not winning last night to give more of that fuel, no pun intended, for the fire.
All right, let's talk women's Royal Rumble match. My girls were very excited. I wanted them to go to bed. The show was going long, but I said, you know what? You can stay up and watch the women's as well. Okay. Rhea Ripley enters at number 1. And I'm not going to say I called it, but I said, you know what? She's going all the way. They had 30 win at the first one. Rhea's going all the way. We'll see how this one plays out. But Rhea Ripley going at number 1. She didn't get her interaction with Beth Phoenix like I thought she would, but at number 2 was Liv Morgan, who did last a very long time as well.
Toward the end, too. She says there pretty much at the end.
She was the final elimination.
Right.
Yeah. So Dana Brooke, number 3, Natalia, number 11. You know, you've got Emma was in there. Shayna Baszler at 5. You know, Bailey at 6. You said that you had 6 in the big pool. Bailey eliminated Becky Lynch, Dana Brooke, Natalia, Roxanne Perez, and Shayna Baszler, and she lasted 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley, by the way, setting a record, obviously, for the women at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 8 seconds. But you know what? In second place, 1 hour, 1 minute, and 7 seconds, Liv Morgan. That'll unfortunately be forgotten in history. They need to make that a bit of a story, that she went toe to toe, inch to inch with her until the very last spot. Surprises, you know, tweeted or Instagrammed or hashtagged or Facebooked or, you know, Pelican Bird or whatever they do nowadays. But Michelle McCool said, I have not been invited to the Rumble. I guess I'll just be sitting in the crowd, you know, because it's in my backyard. And then you hear, you're not enough fun. And they pan over to the crowd. Well, I guess I'm in here. Rips off her stuff. Michelle McCool is in the Royal Rumble. Your thoughts?
That was great. I think it was funny that Mac kept saying, in her Uggs. I'm like, I think she can wrestle in those. Apparently, I mean, and she was in there.
She was wrestling in
yeah,
her
that's
Uggs.
Great to see. I like that. I'm sorry, what? Have I ever?
She was wrestling. No, well, I mean, tell me, have you ever wrestled in Uggs?
I have not, but I can see it working. Absolutely.
Okay.
But yeah, that was great to see. You know, especially with her daughters right there at ringside too. So yeah, that was a nice surprise. Something different as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's run down the list here. Rhea, Liv, Dana, Emma, Shayna, Bailey, B-Fab, only lasted 36 seconds, but welcome B-Fab to the Royal Rumble. Roxanne Perez, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Natalia returning after having her nose busted by Shayna Baszler. Candice LeRae, Zoe Stark, Xia Li. Well, I was excited to see Candice LeRae and Zoe Stark and Xia Li both in there. Becky Lynch, Tegan Knox, Asuka. Let's talk about Asuka. Let's pump the brakes. The return of Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, and a new face paint job, a new haircut, and a new, honestly, insane look for her.
Yeah, there were rumors about the previous, I don't know the exact description, but it was
an incarnation.
Just from the Canadians, I believe. So great to see the return of Asuka. She's been gone for a minute, and she is on Team Long Time, by the way. I'm like, there's no way Asuka's not in the Rumble, and I was so excited when she came out, just unveiling the
bonus points for Team Long Time. Yep.
Right. Asuka, and what a great job she did too. She was in there pretty much till the end as well.
Yes, she was. Let's talk about number 18. No longer, because they already had a Mountain Dew sponsor. No longer Mountain Dew drop. Her name is Piper Niven. Now, I have a Piper in my house as well, who popped huge for Piper being in the Royal Rumble. I said, Piper, that's your girl now, right? Yeah, sure. We were busy arguing beforehand. How come none of these women can have one hair color? Because they kept looking, and everybody had multiple colors. But Piper Niven, one hair color. Returning, no longer Mountain Dew drop. It's Piper Niven. Your thoughts on Piper's return?
That's great. I'm glad she got her name back and focusing on building the Piper Niven character that we saw made, very popular in NXT UK. So great to see her return. And again, just the commentary, them saying like, oh, what a way to drop in. Like, she's like, what it, not what it do, but something along those lines.
Yeah.
Alluding against that or along those lines. But that was funny as well. But no, great to see her. And she was in there dominating and in there for quite a while too. Yeah,
Piper Niven lasting looks like 28 minutes and 5 seconds. Tamina, and then the returning Chelsea Green, as we had mentioned earlier in the program, Chelsea Green in there, and she lasted about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Chelsea Green eliminated by Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Well,
thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Then she'll be back.
Zelina Vega, she's a friend of the program, and she was dressed up, and they ran off on a whole minute thing. I didn't catch the character's name, but her outfit was inspired by a Street Fighter. Again, I apologize, I'm not a Street Fighter guy. I never was. I was in Mortal Kombat, but she was dressed as one of the Street Fighters.
Yeah, there's a sponsorship there, or I should say sponsorship. Maybe that's the right word, or collaboration. That's what it is.
I'd say it's a
She's gonna be
sponsorship.
part of the game. I saw her tweet. I mean, she's so lovely and just wonderful.
Yeah,
and
she's a gamer, obviously, and she had the Twitch channel for a long time, and she's also done the cosplaying before as well. So no, I think it's perfect mix. I think it's.
I was say happy for her, and then also that spot on the apron with her and Xia Li, that was really cool. Very makes you think about that. At least for me, the good old video game days.
Raquel Rodriguez, I did hear McAfee or Graves drop into E Honda reference as well from Street Fighter. I do know who E Honda is. A duo. A person that doesn't have her name technically is Mission, who is also known as Mia Yim, but she was in there as well. Lacey Evans with her new bad girl sergeant from the Marine Corps, and then Michelle McCool from ringside. Indy Hartwell. I was happy to see Indy Hartwell. With Dexter being on Raw, Indy needs to be on Raw. Okay, she needs to be there. Sonya Deville, Shotzi, Nikki Cross, and returning at number 30, Nia Jax. Now, here's the story right away. Nia Jax, not a fan favorite. We know the stories that had happened while she was on the Raw brand, and she played that up, which she should. Nia Jax instantly eliminated by Asuka, Lacey Evans, Morgan, McCool, Mission, Nikki Cross, Niven, Rodriguez, Ripley, DeVille, and Shotzi. Everybody took out Nia Jax. They were not having it.
Yeah. I mean, that was a nice surprise back, and everybody went right for her. She was able to brush them off, but eventually they were able to get her out and over the top rope. And I mean, I do enjoy seeing Nia Jax back. I was just thinking.
I like Nia Jax. Yeah.
To be at Raw or SmackDown, but definitely a dominant presence to have there at the Rumble. And yeah, she wasn't in there long, but she's back. I would assume so for longer than just the Rumble, but I'm not sure. But
they were setting up Rhea Ripley for a power move, right? I think they honestly missed it twice because I think they kept circling back to it again. But Rhea Ripley finally doing Riptide on Nia Jax in the match. That's a feat of strength by any means. So it really gets down to the last three: Asuka, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. They're all on the ring apron. Asuka with the mist. Rhea ducks, hits Liv Morgan. She's covered in the mist. Liv is eventually going to fall out. Asuka's going to fall out. Rhea almost falls. And in the post-press conference, she goes, slipped a little bit. I said while we were watching the match, if I'm Rhea Ripley, I'm yelling at the ref or somebody help me. I'm going to fall. I'm supposed to win this. Somebody help me. But Liv Morgan comes over, helps her out. And then a beautiful move. I don't know if that was the move that was meant or it was ad-libbed, but it was perfect. Leg scissors, flip out. Your winner.
Oh, yeah. Ripley. I mean, kudos to the ladies.
I don't know if it was called or ad-libbed, but it was perfect.
It looked great. Yeah, I mean, the three of them, that whole sequence right there, that was a great finish to the women's Rumble. And yeah, there were a lot of gasps. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of times it looked like Rhea was going to go. You just hear the crowd
because the crowd felt that she was going to be the win too.
Yeah. Can you imagine? But yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, again, a huge Asuka fan as well, and the whole play of the mist. Didn't even think about that happening in the Rumble.
And honestly, that's probably why she slipped. She probably slipped on the mist.
Oh, to duck it. Yeah. So how it landed still on Liv, and Liv still trying to do what she had to do and still being blinded and just legs to the foot to end it. I mean, that you don't usually when the Rumble ends, you get somebody just typically over the top rope or another shenanigans, but not that kind of way where you're out. Yeah. I mean, you've seen some finishes where it comes on the last two, boom, 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 see who finally gets the last move to knock over the other competitor. But when you get it in this kind of style, and then throw in the mist too.
Amazing.
Ladies, kudos. Yes.
So happy for Rhea Ripley. I mean, I've been on the Rhea Ripley bandwagon for a long time. You remember the WrestleMania, the COVID WrestleMania? I said that should be Rhea. She lost her NXT title to Charlotte that year. I said, no, she'll come back. And then she went one-on-one with Bianca at the end of the Women's Royal Rumble. Bianca ends up winning. Like, Rhea's getting her time. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
It is time. And in the press conference after the show, just grateful. You should see her talk about it. They said, what are you going to do with the Judgment Day? You guys going to celebrate? She goes, crikey, I can't. And I'm doing a bad Australian accent. Crikey, I can't tell you what the Judgment Day is going to do. We're going to live it up with Dom and Finn and Priest. And oh, yeah, I can't tell you. So apologize for the bad accent.
I thought she's South African.
No, Australia.
Oh.
All right. Well,
sorry.
Here we go.
Confusing.
It's the main event. This pay-per-view has been built up. This match, this segment has been built to us for a year. Literally, this was a WrestleMania main event segment, and it happened at the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Sami Zayn was the only one to come out with Roman Reigns, along with the special counsel, Paul Heyman. You could see the trepidation in Sami's face. You could feel it at the trial. Sami Zayn on SmackDown was not supposed to be there, but the Usos called him and says, I need you. So can you do anything for me? Sami Zayn showed up in the Kevin Owens Solo Sikoa match. Roman Reigns wins. I don't think that was ever in doubt. I really don't think it was ever in doubt. The beatdown after, which I think ran long, but they're not going to stop this. This is going to go at the time that it goes. I mean, do you agree, disagree? I think that no matter, there's nobody yelling at these guys for time on this. This has to happen in the pace that it's happening because they are telling a story. Yeah. Sammy's not having it. They've got Kevin Owens handcuffed to the ropes. Roman wants Sami to swing at him with the chair. Get the chair. He didn't want to get the chair. Finally, Sami Zayn with a chair to Roman Reigns' back. You could hear the crack in the foundation of the bloodline throughout the entire WWE universe. You could feel the crack in it.
Oh, I screamed.
It cracked two twin brothers in half. That's how hard this cracked. Jimmy and Jay separate. Jimmy sticking with Roman Reigns. Jay busted up inside. Drops down, rolls out. Sami takes a beat down at the end. Holy balls.
Yeah. I mean, just even adding to that, the flowers from the lake just getting dropped on him as the crowd's shouting.
As 50,000.
Not being bleeped out, by the way.
Yeah. Linda, tell me.
Yeah.
Explain it.
I mean, just talking about it right now, I'm just like, just the things and that whole build up and what we saw last night. And again, we knew this was coming.
We saw Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn laying together in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. And there were the moments there. It wasn't like Sami took an immediate shot at Roman. It was building, like it made me question: is he gonna hit Roman? Is he gonna hit KO, or is he not gonna hit anybody?
Remember, they angled the camera for us perfectly to say, could he hit this? Could he hit this?
Yeah, just because, again, I think we know this is coming at some point, but was it necessarily going to happen at the Rumble? So you're just second guessing, like, is this going to happen? I don't know. And then finally, Sami did it. He done did it. I screamed, like I said. Wow.
You screamed for ice cream. That's right.
And then you just didn't know what's next. Who's going to attack who? What's going to happen? Who's going to stay with? Like, I assumed all of the bloodline would be against Sami, but then as you just mentioned, you had Jay very conflicted. Made me think about the emotion, that storyline when Jay and Roman had that storyline.
Main event Jay.
Yeah. So as far as who he's siding with, that wasn't necessarily. I mean,
It's not clear. He's conflicted.
Yes. Yes. So that could still teeter a certain way. I feel it will be more obviously for his actual blood, because that would be weird to have all of a sudden it just Jay. So along with Sami,
a chair to the tribal chief split twin brothers in half. That's how devastating that chair was.
And you heard Roman saying, like, you split my family. And then, man, he got quite the beatdown as well. And from what I understand, when you turn on your back, that means no more. And so Roman was still swinging at Sammy there. But also just seeing KO in the background as well. All those kicks he was getting to, and then even just for good measure,
Jimmy laid in one more. Yeah.
Like,
I hope he said, Kevin, I need one more. I hope he said something to him. You're going to take one more shot.
I think so. I did hear, I mean, also that initial spot in the corner at the chair, it was spot on the camera. I hear Jimmy saying, okay, oh, he's like, are you ready? But outside of that, just what we saw, just the way it ended. And again, just a little touch with the flowers, adding something more, the FU chance of Roman.
Oh, that, really, and I guarantee you that wasn't planned. There was no way that was.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that was going on while he was getting those chants from the crowd. And, just how much popularity the Bloodline and Roman has gained during this reign, no pun intended, and for it to come to this culmination. And obviously, Sammy, the crowd primarily behind Sammy. You can't even write this stuff, seriously.
Even though it did get written.
Yes, that's the ironic thing.
Yeah.
But but the little touches, like you said, no one.
But this piece right here,
hurry it up, do this, do that. It was just really natural, just like a lot of the things that we saw, just leading up to this moment within the Bloodline Sammy whole situation.
This thing right here, honestly, is Luke finding out that Darth Vader is his father. This is that piece, because Shakespeare, movies, books, TV. 1, 2, 3. They're always first segment, second segment, third segment, or act 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. That's the end of act 2. Act 3 begins tomorrow night on Raw. Even though these are SmackDown talents, there's no way that they don't put this on Raw, because the Raw after the Royal Rumble, the Raw after WrestleMania is normally very huge. Mm-hmm. I actually, while this was happening and it got silent, I said, "Did you smell?"
I honestly didn't even think about that during that.
Yeah.
That's how.
Here's why I was thinking this. Here's why I was thinking this. Cole yelling, "Somebody, please, somebody come out and help him. Yeah. Somebody, please, somebody." Him yelling out the referee's name. "Damn it, stop it. You're going to kill him. He's got to stop." That's those little pieces. I mean, we used to bag on Cole 10, 15 years ago. Cole's the man. He's number one right now. And he's always going to be number one until he's done. It's phenomenal. So it's over. Linda, coming up in Montreal in February, Elimination Chamber. We know Sammy and we know Kevin are Canadian, eh? Is there
from Montreal?
And from Montreal. Is there a tag team title match at the Elimination Chamber? Or is it at WrestleMania against the Usos?
I would assume at Mania, because you still can stretch the whole Jey Uso confliction. Is that what it is? I can't think sometimes. Conflict of interest, if you will.
It's conflicts, yeah.
Yes. We think that's something made for Mania, and the title possibly changing hands, I think, is more of the story to be written here. But
do you think this? Let me offer this. Do you think that Sami Zayn gets a title shot against Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber?
The thing I was just about to bring up. Yeah, Cody won, but then again, we know the Elimination Chamber can change that whole stipulation where it's a free ride as the winner of the Royal Rumble to face off against the champion at Mania. But right now, we've got Roman as the sole champion, so a lot of stuff can be happening right now that can really set the tone for Mania. But I think that would make sense to have. I mean, if Rock is not involved. And
that's part of the news that Triple H at the press conference said, I saw the pictures. You guys keep telling me he's not in ring shape. Kidding aside, Rock's just too busy. And to be honest, it's looking unlikely that Rock's going to be available. Look, and Triple H was very, humble almost, right? Even though he was bragging about WWE, which he should. I mean, it's his company. It's the chief content officer now. He said, look, the door is always open for Rock. If he can find time in his schedule, he can come in here and electrify all of us. It's always open. I don't care if it's a house show. Come on in, dude. It's fine. But it doesn't look like The Rock is going to make it to WrestleMania.
If that's the case, I think we got to have Cody Roman, right? And then have KO and Sammy and the Usos at Mania. Of course, many twists and turns can happen till then, but based off how we left off last night, that's how we could see it. If Rock is not there.
Yeah, we could have a lot of different things happening. All right, let's talk about the PWR Fantasy Draft. Linda Kay, I know you've been waiting for this. Linda Kay, you've been in the lead for a few months now. To be honest, I think you took over right around the time of the WWE Clash of the Champions and AEW All Out, because
I had a lot of AEW stars.
Those two combined events got you 805 points over that weekend. Even though I only had 635, Matthew has, 575. Let's talk about the totals, and let's talk about the accounting firm at Dewey, Cheatham and Howe. First off, the moves have all happened. The rosters are locked. We're going to run down the rosters right now. There is no change to these rosters. This is it for the rest of the season.
No change in hell. Sorry.
Linda Kay has Roman Reigns, Alexa Bliss, Drew McIntyre, Bianca Belair, Gunther, Chris Jericho, Charlotte Flair, Kevin Owens, John Cena, which was a pickup that you made over the weekend, Braun Strowman, and Asuka. Matthew Thomas, RK Bro, Cody, Usos, Seth frickin' Rollins, Becky Lynch, Bray Wyatt, Ronda Rousey, Theory, Bayley, and The Rock. I finish it off with the Judgment Day. Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, Dominic Mysterio just picked up this weekend, Jon Moxley, the Brawlin' Brutes, Bryan Danielson also picked up this weekend, Brock Lesnar, Liv Morgan, who was dropped post-Women's Rumble match, pre-end of the show, and I've picked up Maxwell Jacob Freeman. He's better than you, and you know it. Jungle Boy and Edge. Lots of points scored over the weekend. The pay-per-view points look like this. Matthew Thomas, 2 Rumble winners.
Insane.
Matthew Thomas picked both Rumble winners. He had Cody and he had Rhea Ripley. Did that help him? We'll find out. Courtesy of the accounting firm at Dewey, Cheatham and Howe. Matthew Thomas with 550 points for the pay-per-view. Linda Kay, 330. The man that called me at 255. The new totals. Linda Kay still leads at 3,535. The man that called Meathead in second at 3,370, catching up very quickly. 3,110 points, Matthew Thomas. Woof. We have 1, 2, 3, technically 4 point qualifying pay-per-views left. The reason I say that is unless the talents that are on the WWE rosters or AEW rosters show up on an NXT premium live event, we've only got 4 events left. Elimination Chamber, AEW Revolution, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2.
Right, yeah. Vengeance Day, that's on February 4th. So maybe some of us can score some.
If one of us would have picked up if one of us would have picked up the New Day before the rosters closed, there was a chance for points.
Yeah.
Maybe next year we'll have to make NXT events double.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So Elimination Chamber, AEW Revolution, WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. So Linda Kay, with you having, it looks like a, what is that? Math is hard here. So 135. You have a 505 point lead. You're leading by 505 with 4 events left. Do you have a chance?
Do I feel like I can. I've got Roman Reigns on Team Long Time. I mean, we know he's going to be headlining WrestleMania. Will he retain that? That's to be decided. But I've got Bianca Belair on Team Long Time. I would assume is going to be.
That could be a title loss.
It could be, but I would assume it's safe to assume she will be headlining WrestleMania as well as champion. And then a lot of stuff in between. I was very happy with a lot of Team Longtime members in the Rumble and how great they did too. And I also did have KO with Roman. KO has to be at Mania. We've got Alexa
that might
Bliss.
be a title win, maybe.
Ooh, yes, that too. Alexa Bliss, not really sure right now what storyline she'll be in, other than her getting, I would assume, more of a push right now, considering the whole revelation of
the Wyatt Six.
Yes. No pun intended there too. Wrong brand. Company.
How about John Cena? Does he have a match?
Absolutely. If he does not, that's a whoops on my end, but I'm very confident he will have a match. Rumors are flowing. It could possibly be, as Austin Theory, that would be possibly for the championship, the United States Championship. Would he
Theory's
possibly
been dropping a
win
lot of Cena. He's been dropping a lot of Cena references in his promos lately.
Yeah, I would love to see that, just because it does seem like I don't want to say a younger version of Cena, but somebody in a similar spot at that point in their career, facing the legend of who is kind of following that mold, if you will. Doesn't necessarily mean Cena could win, because I remember when Cena came back and faced Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, I was like, I picked up Cena. I'm like, he's got to win, and he didn't, but that's okay. I think that I was focusing on when I made that move yesterday, Meathead, I was focusing on somebody who I think would have made an appearance at the Rumble, as well as a definite match at Mania. I do hope that comes to fruition, at least the WrestleMania part. But as far as other things, I have Gunther. I mean, we saw what he did as Intercontinental, or in the Rumble. And
I hope he's not wrestling tomorrow night, because the dude just went an hour or something in the ring. I hope he's taking a break.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, he should be on SmackDown for as far as his next match. But I have Braun Strowman, who him and Ricochet are in the finals this week on SmackDown. Speaking of SmackDown against Imperium, for a shot at the tag titles. Maybe that's something that can be set up for Elimination Chamber. And just thinking about the single stars, I was thinking ahead of who I felt would be in Elimination Chamber as well. Will that be solely one brand? Gosh, so much to come there. But it's the same with the women for their Elimination Chamber. So I do feel really good about Team Long Time. And then return of Asuka, I feel like that could be something that makes us. On another note, I know Charlotte wasn't at the Rumble, but I would assume she would be headlining Mania as well.
She'll be somewhere.
Who she be facing is the next question. And
Rhea?
I think it's Rhea Bianca. That's
okay.
Because granted, she can challenge any current champion in either brand, but with Judgment Day being a strong mainstay at Raw, I just feel things internally in that regard. But with Charlotte, while we're on the topic, I'm just thinking, who would be her next challenger? If it's not Ronda Rousey, I'm thinking Asuka would be. I mean, granted, she was a Raw competitor, but this return, she could debut on SmackDown, and this could be a face type of feud going on here leading up to Mania, or it could be, good old Charlotte Flair. We love her as a heel. Maybe something happens where she turns on Asuka. And let's keep in mind, I was at the last Mania where Asuka and Charlotte were together. Gosh, where was that, in Dallas? The first time. I'm not really sure, but I believe Asuka was champion at the time.
Miami?
She lost to Charlotte. Maybe? No. It would have been I think it was, unless it was New Orleans the second time.
I lose track.
Yes, but I believe Asuka was champion, lost it to Charlotte. So what a story to be told if this time Asuka can get it back. So just think along the lines. But that being said, Asuka is on Team Long Time. But how about your turn, Meathead?
So
how strongly do you feel?
I feel very strongly because with Bryan Danielson, MJF, Moxley, and Jungle Boy, they're going to be in something, and they're going to be double points. Bryan Danielson and MJF are in a specialty match as well.
That's true.
So for some reason, if Bryan Danielson won, you're done. It's over for Linda Kay. But I believe MJF is going to retain at the pay-per-view. And Jungle Boy quite possibly will be in one of those golden hemorrhoid matches, with the donut hanging over the ring. So I'm pretty happy about it.
No, I was I do have Chris Jericho. He is my sole AEW member, because he's going to be in something there. Hopefully it's some specialty match as well for extra points. But good point of you mentioning the golden what do you call it?
The hemorrhoid donut?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Because at Mania, isn't there always the Andre the Giant Battle Royal as well? So that's something good for
which is on pre-show. It's usually pre-show or it's
but it's still points.
Actually, so Linda, they've done this the last couple of years. It's been on SmackDown.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I was just going to say on a positive note, something good for points to be attained for
there you go.
Or for you, me, and Matthew. Which is, again, where is Matthew Thomas?
Where is Matthew Thomas? I don't know. Maybe he's not happy that he won points in the PWR draft, but didn't win money in the other thing. So we'll have to see.
Wait, what? I thought that something was for fun.
Oh, I don't know. Let's talk about Matthew Thomas. Was his strategy, Linda, and I'll ask you real quick before I run down his roster, was his strategy of holding on to these dead slots on his team worth it? He won both Rumbles, but is it enough?
I don't know. I mean, he definitely made a big dent, but if that deficit is too much, gosh, I'm not
Linda,
sure. But
he is still down 425 points to you.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't know.
think so. I don't think it worked out. And here's what I'm talking about. Matthew's been holding on to RK Bro. Matthew held on to Cody, and he only got 165 points for it. But that slot could have been scoring 60 every pay-per-view, every pay-per-view, every pay-per-view. Matthew has the Usos, which gave him an appearance. He also has Seth frickin' Rollins. He's got Becky Lynch, who I thought was going to win last night. I thought it was a chance for her. Bray Wyatt, who he picked up with the specialty win. He's also got Rhea Ripley, the winner of the Women's Rumble. Ronda Rousey doing nothing right now, and no guarantee she's going to be around even to WrestleMania. So that's a dead slot for him. Matthew Thomas has Theory. I think there's a big match there for him. He's also got Bayley. There's going to be something there with Becky Lynch. And he's got The Rock, a dead slot, except for possibly WrestleMania. Matthew Thomas, has been nice knowing you. This is a two-person race here. It's Linda Kay and the man they call Meathead. And Linda, I'm enjoying the next 4 months. 4 months, right? 3 months, 4 pay-per-views. But let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. That has been PWR Weekly. It's been a long-winded one. 4 hours and 12 minutes, not so much, but we got it in. So for Matthew Thomas, who we don't know where the hell he is, for Linda Kay, who's right there in front of you, the lovely Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you next week. So long, everyone.